like to call to order the Henry Ford College Board of Trustees meeting, June 13th, 2022. May I have a roll call, please?
Trustee Berry?
Here.
Trustee D'Ambrosio?
Here.
Trustee Moza?
Here.
Trustee Petrikov?
She is absent.
Trustee Thorpe?
Here.
Trustee Watts here. Chair McDonald.
Here. Now, before we go on, I want to make a statement. As chair of the board, I would like to make the following statement. Good evening. One of the board's primary responsibilities is hiring, supporting, and evaluating the college president. Beginning in April, after President Cavalluna announced plans to leave the college, the board took initial steps towards a search for a new college president. In the spirit of transparency, I would like to notify the college community that the board and President Cavalluna had begun contract negotiations, with the hope that these negotiations will result in President Cavalluna's continuing in that role. A subcommittee of the board is conducting these negotiations and expects them to be concluded by the end of June. Until the process is concluded, we will not proceed with any presidential search activities. The board will announce the results of the negotiations when they are complete. We hope you understand that we will not be able to answer any specific questions about the process until that time. We appreciate your patience. Thank you. Next item, please.
Approval of minutes. Approval of minutes for the following Board of Trustees meeting. Board of Trustees Policy Committee meeting, May 16th, 2022. Regular Board of Trustees meeting, May 16th, 2022. Special Board of Trustees meeting, May 26th, 2022. Closed session, May 26th, 2022. Board of Trustees Ad Hoc Committee meeting, June 9th, 2022.
So move. Support.
Okay, I believe that was a motion by Trustee D'Ambrosio, supported by Trustee Berry. Are there any corrections? Seeing none, may I have a roll call, please?
Trustee Berry?
Yes.
Trustee D'Ambrosio?
Yes.
Trustee Moza?
Yes.
Trustee Petrikov? Trustee Thorpe?
Yes.
Trustee Watts, yes. Chair McDonald.
Yes. Next item, please.
Recognition and acknowledgements.
Thank you, President Cataluna, Chair McDonald, board members, and friends of Henry Ford College. My name is Mark Roby. I've lived in Dearborn Heights since 1990 when my wife and I moved there from Taylor. In 1979, I graduated with honors from Baylor High School in Chattanooga, Tennessee. Yes, there is a high school. It was a military school. In the fall of 1980, I advanced to attend Georgia Tech in Atlanta, Georgia. There's a joke that goes something like this. If you want to make your God laugh, tell him about your plans. In my freshman year, my father suffered a stroke that would eventually take his life. I was thrust into the workforce as a young man, trying to go to a very prestigious engineering university and work at the same time to try to do that. And a career discovered me, and as you might think, making more than a reasonable amount of money as a young man, it was hard to also go to Georgia Tech at the same time. I've been married to my childhood sweetheart for the last 36 years. We're blessed to have 2 adult children that are both getting married this year, within 3 months of each other. So pray for us. For 40 years, the career that found me, provided for my family, put 2 kids through Eastern Michigan University, did a lot of things, but then there's something that says when you make plans, life is what happens when you're making plans. 2019, COVID hits. I have a heart attack. I'm thinking about a career pivot in my life already at this point because my chosen career is getting very dog-eat-dog. I was in the retail leadership positions of companies, training and leading people, and have shrinking budgets during that time. I'm thinking about a career pivot, and then life happens and helps me along because the company I worked for the last 15 years just did a restructuring and downsized about 50 of us right out of the top leadership of the company. So my son told me about Futures for Frontliners. So I started looking around to colleges to go to a community college to finish off the degree I never did get. Most ostensibly to get 2 pieces of paper that said, I actually know what I'm doing already, as I'm going to get associates in business and associates in logistics and supply chain here at Henry Ford. I am currently in the honors program, thanks to President Kay, who recommended me for that program. And I am a 3.98 GPA. I plan to use 90 credit hours to use a transfer agreement with Eastern Michigan University to go to the school that my children went to finish that in a 3+1 and graduate with a degree in technology management. I wanted to take one moment to tell you what I think of Henry Ford College. This school is a jewel, I think, of diversity. The heart and culture of the Hawks, as I call it, is a beautiful thing. From the top to the bottom, having been in business my entire life, I see companies, I see leadership, I see stuff, and companies in this school, any type of company that you see usually will embody what its leaders are, right? If you have poor leadership or you have people that don't care about people, that's what the company reflects. But this school, from the top all the way down, at every interaction I've had in this school, not only have I been accepted, I've been embraced, and I've seen it happen to my fellow students and my fellow honor students. The interaction with the staff and the people, whether it's financial aid or whether it's any of the other offices in the school, there is no conclusion that can be drawn by me, but that it also comes from leadership down, right? You guys, this is a jewel of diversity because you guys embrace that. Your leadership does this. And I have seen it, like I say, with President Cavalluna. HFC is a community college and it embraces community. And that's not just community, that's everybody in a community. Whether it's soccer moms and soccer dads, whether it's religious diversity, gender equality. I just see it embraced all across the campus. Diversity of race, religion, sexual orientation. Diversity is also age. But this school, I think, I came here because of what it represented. I reached out to the school I actually pay taxes at, I won't say their name, another school, and only Henry Ford. For every bit I interacted with this school, it interacted back with me. Being one of the first people ever on Futures for Frontliners, Jeremy Guck and the people that were here when I started to reach out had the honesty to tell me they didn't know all the answers to that program, but they said, I tell you what, we'll get together and we'll learn this together. When the others were deaf as doorknobs, right? This school reached back to me. So I just want to applaud it. I just don't know how I can say it in more glowing terms than I just did. This school embraces a community, and a sense of community, embodies a sense of community. It's, I think, the most excellent vision that I can say in words for Henry Ford College is that HFC will meet you where you are and help you change your stars. And I really think that's a beautiful thing about this school. I want to take a moment to say just one thing about my friend, President Cavalluna. I'm overjoyed to hear that we might be able to keep you. This man is a special man. I mean, to take somebody like me that was just a student on a first Friday and ask about me enough to then involve me behind the scenes. He didn't take me and do this. He went behind the scenes. And he said, I think you might have an honor student. You know what I mean? And he basically called Adam Hazlitt or emailed Adam Hazlitt, and Hazlitt got with my English instructor. But this is a guy who just cared about Joe Q student that he learned about on a first Friday. So I just want to say that I appreciate him immensely. I think he's a wonderful guy. I thank you for the opportunity to be this month's reader, and I'll give you those announcements now. The athletic department is pleased to announce our student athletes earning the NJCAA All Academic Team Honors. NJCAA All Academic First Team Honors recognizes students earning at least 24 credits with a 4.0 grade point average are awarded to Richard Kidd, baseball, Ivan Crota, baseball, Carolyn O'Donohue for softball. NJCAA All Academic Second Team Honors for students averaging between 3.8 and 3.99 are awarded to, his name's Robert, it's misspelled on this sheet, Robert Schlipp for baseball, Lauren Gannon for softball and women's basketball, Jessica Laird for softball, Haley Zimmerman for softball, Lily Grantham for volleyball, Lauren Hardy for volleyball, Ellie McDonald for volleyball, Justin Laban for wrestling, and Vaughn Petty for wrestling. Third team honors, recognizing students earning at least 24 credits with a grade point average between 3.6 and 3.79, are awarded to Ian Schuster for baseball, Alyssa Sanner for volleyball, Anna Atherton for softball, and congratulations to all of our HFC Scholar athletes. I thank you for the opportunity to read these announcements and say those words that I did today. Are there any other questions I could answer for you guys?
Trustee Watts?
So, Mark, can we take you on the road?
Yeah, I was thinking the same thing.
I would do anything in the world for this university. I volunteered, as Rhonda would tell you, left and right. I would do anything for this school because I just think it's a beautiful place.
So so after you get your degree, what is your dream job? What's the next step?
Well, one of the things that you heard in my joke and this thing my father always said about life is what happens when you think you're making plans. It's always good to have plans, and so you have those plans, but then being wise is to be open to opportunity when those things present themselves. So, I started in 2020 with a plan, and by 2022, I'm already saying that HFC feels a lot like home to me. So don't be surprised if you don't see me at least haunting this campus, if not trying to get a job here when I get done. So, but thank you for that.
No, thank you.
Any other questions I could answer?
Yeah, Mr. Mark, good to see you again. It's been
Yes, it is,
a
brother.
while since we were on the stage together at the State of the College.
It is. We both are pilots, by the way, although he flew things much bigger than I do.
A couple points. One, I want to say how proud we are that you matriculated from Georgia Tech to Henry Ford College. It's a good transfer from Georgia Tech to HFC. I'm glad you stepped up in that regard.
Yeah. 40 years later.
Yeah. And I just want to correct the record a bit. You can't just take a recommendation from me or anyone else to get into the honors program. You have to do it yourself. And of course,
Yeah.
your grade point average shows that. And I'm glad that I just maybe suggested that you should check out that group because I've heard great things about how you fit in there and you yourself add to the diversity that is the honors program. I take it. I can't remember. Have we seen each other over in the new honors program area? I don't think we have.
We just missed that day you went over there.
Okay.
But I was on campus, but you had gone in, you got the nickel tour, and when I got back, you were gone, and I texted you.
Yeah, okay. Now it's coming back to me. I'm sure if you were there, I would have gotten the quarter or dime or $2 tour. I'm glad. I hope you're enjoying that. I want to introduce you to a couple people who I hope you can interact with. One is Reginald Best. He's the vice president. Go ahead and raise your hand, Reginald.
Mr. Best.
And John Satkowski. He's another vice president, and Ruben Bruckley. I saw him walk in here.
He's here.
Those three are three of the people who you
Gentlemen.
can thank for helping the honors college get a really nice space compared to what it had probably when you started in it.
Right.
Those-
We're doing a lot of great things for the college, and you'll see it in the coming year.
Okay. And then your 3+1 with Eastern. That's fantastic. I'm glad you're taking advantage of it. And Dr. Nealon can raise his hand. He's I don't know if you know him, but he's the one you should need to thank for what a great program that is. One of our great transfer partners. So when you do get your bachelor's degree at Eastern, let me know. We'll make sure President Smith gets a particular notice from me about that. Let me just say, I didn't know you were going to be the reader today, and I won't put you on the spot and ask you anything because you've said everything so eloquently. But I just say I appreciate you being here. You've been a great student, and you're what all of us want. Is someone who we believe we can help, and we do help.
Well, like I say, I recognize what you do. I recognize what this board does, more than many students might. Like I say, that leadership of this university, your direction, you embody, that future-driven motto. I mean, you're embracing a future that is a beautiful future, and it starts from this table, these tables, right? And it goes down through the people you hire and everybody else that you inspire. And I, more than most, would recognize that that's the case.
I do have one question before you move on. As far as being one of the first Future for Frontliners students,
Yes.
what kind of hurdles, or what was the largest hurdle that you faced and that you overcome, or what were some of the obstacles?
Well, I think when the program was rolled out, you'll recognize, if you can think back to it, it was this, they've been, the governor and the education partners that they're working with, been struggling with trying to do something like Michigan Reconnect, you now recognize as Michigan Reconnect. And when COVID hit, so many people were losing jobs, right? What the governor did with leadership was at that point say, that program we're talking about, let's pull it and throw it here and help people that don't have a degree or haven't finished a 4-year degree go to community college and change their stars, be something different, do something different, elevate the workforce of the county. But being on the cutting edge of something like that, when they're just like advanced rolling it, like, Russ is shaking his head, because that's, not an easy thing to do, on the fly, right? So it's hard to get good information. How's this going to be? What's going to come out? But like I say, to be standing there, and I miss Jeremy. He's gone on to good and better things, so good for him. But people like Jeremy Guck, I keep bringing him up because he was great. Mm-hmm. But whether it was the people at the Girls in Financial Aid, which are wonderful, it's just okay, how are we going to get this, and when's it going to show up? And it was just that whole thing kind of in transit.
Yeah.
That would have frustrated most anybody, with the exception of the fact that Henry Ford College had people that let's go through this together.
And figure it out.
We
Yeah.
got you, we'll go through this together. And that's just having gone to Georgia Tech, where my freshman calculus class was 250 kids in a stadium, practically. You know what I mean? To come to a place where somebody said, look, come on, we got this, we'll figure it out together. And that is, like I say, that can only come from leadership, leading people for this is how we do this, this is how we do this. We've got so many quality people that work at this university that use that. And everyone I ever encounter say, I'm not sure that I have the idea to that, but I tell you what, I don't know if I have the answer, but let's find that answer out together. To have people that have the humility to do that, then just fire off the cuff and say some random thing that may or may not be true, to say let's see if we can get these answers. And that was the most challenging thing about it, but really it was also the most beautiful thing about it.
Well, thank you very much. We
You're
appreciate
very welcome.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Mark, just want to offer you a little advice, just friendly advice. Life happens as you're planning. That's been me all my life.
Yeah.
A couple years ago, well, actually a few years ago, I promised my youngest, my daughter, that, her brothers got their degree. I said, if you finish your degree, I'm going to go back to school. And a promise made is a promise kept. She finished. I went back to school, went to university around here, and did get my degree. She tried to up me once. She went and got her master's. I said, no, I know my limits. So, but the advice, when you said that you're learning, which you're learning in the classroom, what you already knew, what you already lived. That is true.
Yeah.
What I picked up is I learned a lot from these young people in the classroom.
I tell you what, that is the blessing. And
Yeah,
one of the,
okay.
the most amazing thing about it is like, once you embrace the learning community again, and you know, my brothers and sisters in the honors program, the dialogues that we have in that building, I now have all these other rooms in my head, you know, where I have other voices, where I never had these other voices before. So, like I've told, you know, my English professors, and I've told Lonsdale, and I've told other instructors, you know, from the classes that I was in, it's like, when I leave, you know, some of the rooms in my attic are going to go dark, and I'm not going to like that. You know what I mean? I've become accustomed to wanting to have, you know, my kids are grown up, they're out of the house, you know, it's just me and mama. So like, but having those other voices, not just the other voices, but the other perspectives,
Good for you.
right?
For you.
Just, it's a tremendous blessing. It really is. It just, I think it keeps your mind active and it keeps you young. I would be the way that I would say that, because like perspective is often the hardest thing to find sometime. The old saying about the forest for the trees, you know, you think you know the whole lay of the land, and then out of the mouth of babes comes something that you're like, wait a minute. You know, that's the kind of stuff that, you know, keeps you going.
Sure. Thank you for sharing.
Oh, thank you for sharing.
Thank you so much.
Glad I'm not alone.
You're more than welcome to stay if you'd like, but you're not obliged.
Thank you very much. You guys have a wonderful evening. And
Next item, please.
President's items?
Thank you, Madam Secretary. Madam Chair, I'll be brief. But I just made a note on the top of my comments because I wanted to share a little anecdote about what Trustee Barry just mentioned, and I'll be disclosing a little bit of information that I hope he's okay with. I'm quite sure he would. But he mentioned, you know, he was attending college, and he's one recently at a university, and he's one of the people who have attended university during a pandemic. And unlike many of his colleagues at that time, he was also the chair of a community college who was enduring a pandemic, and I happened to be a leader at that community college, and so we talked sometimes twice, sometimes once a day. Mark, I'll tell you a funny story. I remember when you talk to somebody that many times, especially through a crisis, your life just kind of comes through the phone. And I remember the chairman saying something along the lines of how he was struggling to get through a class that was either exercise science or yoga.
It was yoga.
And he was explaining how he enjoyed being around a diverse group of students, both in background and age. And it went, of course, like everything else, online, which probably, like most students, caused there to be a little bit more self-discipline. But certainly, I can imagine seeing, I never did, but I imagine seeing the chair in a park with a phone, looking through the phone, doing yoga.
I made sure Nadine deleted those pictures.
Madam Chair, within the last couple of weeks, I was encouraged by what I heard at the Mackinac Policy Conference. That's a very good opportunity to interact with a lot of the partners of the college. I can't go through all of them, but I'll just say interacting with leaders in the legislature, the lieutenant governor, the governor, and frankly, bipartisan support for investment in community college, not just free college programs that benefit students like Mark Roby, but also it looks like the legislature may be spending some of the money that they have now in infrastructure. The Senate recently passed, and it was discussed on the island, that they were going to do another round of capital outlay projects. And of course, you know, we have 2 additional capital outlay projects that we put in the queue, and fingers crossed on that. I'll also tell you that while it was not a very well kept secret, it now is publicly announced that the Ralph C. Wilson Jr. Foundation will give $20 million per year for up to 4 years for student success at community colleges in Southeast Michigan. And I want to compliment Reginald Best and Michael Nealon and Lori Gonco and Holly Diamond and Rhonda DeLong for putting together a robust proposal that was nearing $10 million in requests to the Ralph C. Wilson Jr. Foundation, and you will not be surprised that it wasn't made up in whole cloth because it tracked a lot of what we recently accomplished in the strategic plan. So it was of particular ease for me to interact with the CEO of that foundation on multiple occasions on the island, as well as the grant officer, a woman named Susan Dundon, who Reginald Best knows very well. And I'm fingers crossed and very excited that this proposal to the Ralph C. Wilson Jr. Foundation will not only be a good investment in our community college, but it will be the right investment for Southeast Michigan because it will be based on student success. And this type of transformational investment at the Ralph C. Wilson Jr. Foundation will likely be given to someone that that foundation feels comfortable with. And you'll remember that 3 years ago, this college got a $2.1 million grant from that foundation. So you never can count your chickens before they hatch, but we've got about 8 million eggs we're counting on. And I think we moved the ball forward there on the island there. I also want to update you that I see President Zitnik with the Local 71 Collective Bargaining Unit. He is laboring effectively and moving forward with our negotiating team on their collective bargaining unit agreement, and I believe that we'll have an update for you at your next board meeting, which would, of course, we don't meet in July, and I'm sure the administration will update you in August. But I'm here to report productive and ongoing negotiations with that collective bargaining unit. Second to last, I want to tell you that I'm proud of the agenda here, having a proposal for a new permanent vice president of student affairs. That was a good process. It was extensive. I had no involvement in that process other than interviewing the final 3 candidates, and the selectee for your review is on your list of action items that if the board sees fit to approve it, I'll ask the chair to give me an opportunity to make a few comments after that. And then finally, I'll just say Trustee Barry and Mark Roby have mentioned plans, and it probably is no surprise to you that I can relate to the idea that when you make plans, God tends to laugh. I appreciate Kathy Demetrio planning a wonderful event for me that was supposed to start just before this meeting. We obviously didn't have that. I'll tell you, I also had a plan of celebrating my 12th anniversary with my wife tonight. That is not likely. But some plans of mine haven't changed. The relationship I have with Mark and the relationship I have with you trustees is one of the things that I'm most proud of, and I take very seriously. And no matter how long I sit here with you all, I will work as hard as I can in moving the ball forward for both you and the students. And I hope you know that as long as I occupy this chair, you'll never have to wonder where my passions and my plans are, which is to move this college forward. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you, President Cavalena. Next item, please.
Action items, citizen participation. Citizens wishing to address the board on agenda and non-agenda items for action and have submitted a blue card by 7:10 p.m. to the secretary may speak at this time. The board may not be in a position to respond to non-agenda items. Therefore, speakers should not anticipate an immediate response to their comments or questions. For the benefit of all concerned, do not mention the names of students or college employees, and please limit comments to 3 minutes.
Do we have any blue cards?
We do not. Nope.
Okay, next item, please.
Special consideration of an action item. Are there any action items on this agenda which board members or the president wish to discuss and vote on separately?
We'll need to pull 11. Anyone else?
I have questions on 3 and 4.
You
Yeah,
don't
would
want
like-
them pulled?
would
You
like
just want
them
a question?
pulled.
You would like them pulled?
Yeah.
Okay, anyone else?
What were those numbers again, 3 and 10?
3, 4, and 11.
Move to approve action items numbered 1 to 2, 5 through 10, as recommended in this agenda, except for 3, 4, and 11.
So moved.
Support.
Okay, we have a motion by trustee Thorpe, supported by trustee Barry. May I have a roll call, please?
Trustee Barry?
Yes.
Trustee D'Ambrosio?
Yes.
Trustee Moses?
Yes.
Trustee Petlicoff? Trustee Thorpe?
Yes.
Trustee Watts? Yes. Chair McDonald?
Yes. Okay, we'll go back to the items that were pulled one at a time, starting with 3.
I have the same question
Wait
for
for
3.
the motion.
Yes,
Also,
read it,
well,
please.
well, we need the motion.
Move to approve a contract awarded to Schreiber Corporations for $61,000 for emergency roof repairs as requested by Facility Services in accordance with the specifications of sealed bid number 22002-A.
So moved.
Support.
Okay, moved by trustee Barry, supported by trustee Thorpe. What is your question, trustee Moses?
Thank you, Madam Chair. I have a question about, the same question for 3 and 4. It could be answered in one. Perhaps we could make the same motion, but since we already are making one by one, it's fine. It just, I'd like to know why those, with such a large amount, especially for number 4, why this is an emergency replacement? Why wasn't this planned from before? If we know those roofs needed to be repaired, if our emergency requests perhaps had the pricing, did it have a change or an effect on pricing?
Thank you, trustee Moses. Mr. Steiner, do you have answers to those questions? I think the questions are, what impact, if at all, does the title of emergency repair and replacement have to the process, and then did it impact at all the bids? Is that a fair rendition?
Yeah, but also why we were not proactive in knowing that those roofs for 3 different buildings need repairs. Why are we doing emergency? Did we wait until something happened, and that's why we're moving quickly with the emergency replacements?
Let me start, and if there's anything else you want to ask, I'll be glad to try to address that. We split this bid for roofing into 2 pieces, primarily because of delays, the whole supply chain delays related to COVID. We can't get materials for the complete roof repairs done, replacements done, until early next year at the earliest. We have subsections of the roofs on each of the 3 buildings that are in really immediate need of repair. They've been, we've got, on heavy rains, leaking through the roof onto equipment and into rooms, and it represents a serious a threat and challenge to the college. So we can get the work and the materials needed for those emergency repairs is different than a complete roof replacement on the sections of Part B. So we needed to get Part A, the emergency repairs, done immediately. So that's why we split them into 2 parts. Materials are available now. It's a more simple process than doing the complete tear-off down to the base and then building it back up. And when we do the roof replacements, Part B, it will also then meet our objectives with the IEMP program. So higher R values and expected life in the it's a 20 to 30 year range with the new roofs.
So we're expected to move forward quickly with Schreiber for the repairs,
Yes, immediately.
right? And then Lutz Roofing will take over the project after the repairs? When
Well,
will they start taking?
They can really are handled 2 separate, distinct processes. And Schreiber can do their emergency repairs right away. I think they can start next month. And it'll take a relatively short time to finish that. And then the other contractor will come in next year when materials are here to
Okay.
do the complete replacements on sections of the other 3 buildings.
So even though we're doing an emergency, it's still gonna take a whole year for the work to start, and that's why we're doing the emergency repair until then, and then the new
Right, yes.
full replacement is gonna happen next year.
Trustee Thorpe?
So a few questions then to clarify. Agenda item number 3, this 61,000 is really the emergency repairs. 4 is the more long-lasting, after we got a Band-Aid, and then we're actually gonna fix the issue. So it's not really an emergency on number 4.
That's correct. It's not an emergency on number 4.
Okay,
And number 4 includes a much wider area than
Yeah, of course.
the emergency repairs do.
the other question would be, if we're calling number 3 an emergency, why did we go through the formal bid process? I would assume we've got some process in place that if it's really, really important, we're able to go ahead and get it done, even if it is a larger ticket item. Does that seem right?
There is a provision in board policy for emergency repairs. We felt that in this particular case, we wanted to, our tarps are holding up right now, but we wanted to check what other contractors' prices were to
Okay.
make sure that we were getting the best value for each dollar.
Okay, thank you.
Anyone else?
Anything else?
I would suggest that, Trustee Barry, if you want to amend your motion by adding 3 and 4 together, since we've discussed them both.
I didn't pull them.
Oh.
Trustee Moser did.
I'm sorry, but you,
But you move.
Oh, I'm
moved
sorry.
it.
Okay, yeah, that's fine. I amend my motion. You are correct,
And-
Chair.
And-
yeah, read 2 and 3,
And
or
I
3 and
would,
4 together.
do I need to amend the support then?
Yes.
So amended.
So am I just reading recommended action for number 4?
Yes.
correct?
Yes.
Okay. So move to approve a contract award to Lutz Roofing for $1,326,870 for roof replacements on building F, K, and L as requested by Facility Services in accordance with the specifications of sealed bid 22002-B.
And that was moved by Trustee Barry and supported by Trustee Thorpe. May I have a roll call, please?
Trustee Barry?
Yes.
Trustee D'Ambrosio?
Yes.
Trustee Moses?
Yes.
Trustee Petrikov? Trustee Thorpe?
Yes.
Trustee Watts, yes. Chair McDonald?
Yes. And I've asked to pull number 11 because it's that time of year that we have to appoint someone for the MCCA board. I believe currently Trustee Petchlikov is our trustee designee. I don't know who, I may have been the alternate, but I'm not sure. So, do we have anyone that?
Let's
would
get the
like-
motion on the table.
Oh, I'm
first,
sorry,
please.
yes, please make the motion.
Recommended action, move to approve the designation of the following as representatives to the MCCA Board of Directors to 2022-2023 year.
So moved.
Support?
Okay, we have a motion by Trustee Barry, supported by Trustee Thorpe. Do I have any volunteers? Trustee Watts?
I would like to volunteer.
Okay, anyone interested in?
This is not volunteering. This is, what do you do? What's the requirement?
Okay.
I'm not gonna volunteer until I know what I'm getting into.
Well, I have done it before, and there wasn't a whole lot of requirement. I went to the MCAA meeting. They had when you were there for the conference, they had a special breakfast, I believe, where the directors came in. It's been quite a while ago.
From a time commitment, are you thinking like 1 or 2 meetings, or?
Trustee, would you like?
I've
to-
served on it many years ago. It's just the one convention, if you want to
Yeah,
call
one
it.
convention.
And it's more like, you meet and network with other directors and other board
Of the other
presidents. and
colleges? All right.
Compare like best practices, best
Okay.
ideas. It was very enlightening.
Yeah, it was.
I'm open to being an alternate then.
Okay, So we have trustee Watts as the trustee director and trustee Thorpe volunteering as the alternate trustee director. May I have a motion?
Roll call.
I'm sorry, my
Trustee-
bad. Roll call.
Trustee Berry?
Yes.
Trustee D'Ambrosio?
Yes.
Trustee Moses?
Yes.
Trustee Petrikov? Trustee Thorpe?
Yes.
Trustee Watts? Yes. Chair McDonald?
Yes. Next item, please.
Board of Trustees business, acknowledgements of correspondence.
Anyone?
It's been quiet on this side of Michigan Avenue.
For some of us. Okay, hearing none. Next item, please.
Board committee reports.
Yes, we have one report tonight. We had an audit committee meeting this evening with Plant Moran. And it's a one page, but I'm going to read down on the third item, the oral communication with those charged with governance. A is concerns of the Board of Trustees, if any. B, issues encountered by the Board of Trustees during the year under audit, if any. C, inquiry regarding any known or alleged fraud or concerns regarding fraud. D, understanding of the college, relationships and transactions with related parties that are significant to the college, and any concerns regarding those relationships or transactions. E, knowledge of any significant, unusual transactions the college has entered into.
Anyone else? Is that the extent of your report?
That's the extent of the report.
Okay. There were no other committee meetings? All right, next item, please.
Request for information and/or future agenda items.
Trustee Barry.
Rhonda, I want to say thank you for the job you're doing with the communication, especially on social media. I try to follow or even actually go look for it, and I've been sharing some of your posts. One of the posts was the virtual adjunct hiring fair that we just had earlier in the month. I put it out there, and someone did reach out to me and thank me. They did attend, and they said it was very, very informative. President Cavaloon, I'd like to see maybe like a summary of that fair, numbers of attendees, and what is our follow-up plan with those attendees. Thank you.
Anyone else? Nope. Next item, please.
Board member commentary.
Trustee Watts.
I also attended the Mackinac Policy Conference, and it was my first year, and it was very informative, and I think President Kevlin already kind of gave you a summary, but the amount of interaction and networking that was happening within a short 72 hours was very jam-packed. So it was a great conference to attend, and a lot of good relationships were formed, so thank you.
Good. Anyone else? Trustee Cavaloon, I'm sorry, President Cavaloon.
Could make some jokes about that.
Yes, you could.
Trustee Barry, thank you for mentioning the virtual adjunct fair and complimenting Rhonda on it. I do not see my colleague, Dr. Boza, the president of AFO, here, but she did report to me the same thoughts that you had, Trustee Barry, and so I'm sure she will also be glad to have your request for information that we will put together. Ms. Diamond, would you come to the podium? And trustees, please know I'm not springing this on her. I was hopeful that you would approve one of the action items, and so I said you may need to get ready, Ms. Diamond. And I'm calling her Ms. Diamond because I'm taking particular delight in removing a part of her title for the last year and 3 months now. And it started with a big I, and it finished with interim. So I'm pretty big on teams at the college, and I'd like to think it's a pretty good team, and I'd like to think that people on the team are happy to be on the team. And one of the ways we display that is we have photographs of the team in the cabinet, and of course photographs of you all outside of this hallway. And Miss Diamond came onto the team in an interim capacity, and she's not the first person to come onto the team in that capacity. And she gets a picture that Ms. Dimitriou puts on the wall up there, and I think we may even have had to do a photograph, didn't we?
We used a really old one that looked better than the current one.
And underneath it, it says interim vice president. And every time I walk by there, it's the only person there that says interim there. And I know that must have been a goal of hers to remove. In fact, she told me that. And there have been vice presidents before her who have kind of climbed the mountain to be a part of the team. And I just want to say to you trustees that I'm immensely proud of the work that Holly Diamond did over the last year and 2 months. She endured some setbacks physically. She went through a grueling process of having, and I'm the one that conducted this, every single person who worked directly with her give me direct feedback about her, both positive and negative. That's not the first person that's gone through that, but I think it's a good way to see if a person is willing to understand where they can improve, if they want to be part of the team. And it's been referred to as the gauntlet. And you can hear at least one person chuckling because she went through it also. And I can just tell you that now Vice President Diamond's reports from her colleagues were that she would work immensely hard, that she was always truthful, especially to people in power, that she cared about students and had devoted over a decade of service to this institution and over 2 decades of service to higher education. And I'm going to disclose a little bit of detail, but I think it's important. She had wanted to be a vice president for a long time, and she told me candidly that when she first went for a vice presidency, she may not have been either ready, or it might have not been the right time. And this is a professional who takes their craft so seriously that she could look back on a time when she worked really hard for something, wanted it, didn't achieve it, and found what she could learn and grow from. And truly, if you're looking for teammates, that quality of self-assessment, willingness to fight and to work and to improve, you simply can't find anything more glowing to say about someone. If they pass the test of hard work, being a good teammate and being truthful, then the next best thing you can hear is that they really want to improve all the time. And so you may not be surprised that I've given her some of the most difficult tasks to take on. She knows what those are. She developed a plan, and then she explained the plan to the search committee that searched for this position. And they rated her the highest, moved her on to the finals, and while she had competitors in the finals, it really wasn't close. So Vice President Diamond, I want to congratulate you, on earning this board's vote on my selection, and welcome you to the team. You've been with us and acting like a full member of the team, but I know that monkey on your back was always there.
It was. I'm excited. Thank you all so much. I really appreciate it.
And I've invited you to make a few comments, if you want.
Sure. I will tell you the gauntlet has also been referred to as the Diamond confirmation hearings. So we had a nice little laugh about that, but seriously, I want to say thank you. My heart is with Henry Ford, and that's what I told the team that I interviewed with. That's what I told the president. I've been here, when I stepped foot on this campus, I felt like I was home. Honestly, this was supposed to be a stop for me. I said, I'll go to Henry Ford, get some experience, and move on. Well, 13 years later, I'm still here, and I love it. I love working for the board, for the administration, but most importantly for the students. This last year, I've gotten to know all the members of the Student Affairs team. What a great, rich, robust team that I'm excited to go forward with in the future as we, realign and structure ourselves to meet the strategic plan. So I'm really excited, and I want to say thank you.
Before you leave,
Madam Vice President, you went away too quickly. The chair had a question for you.
well, it wasn't a question. You can sit if you
Okay.
like. I just wanted to say I have watched you in action for many years. And from the get-go, you impressed me, and you just stood out as just beaming, ready to learn, ready to roll, ready to take action, ready to, listen. and to help others if they struggled or if they had questions, and jump in the mix. And from, like I said, from the get-go, you caught my eye, and I just want to say I'm very proud of you. And I'm just very proud of you. Did you call your parents?
Not yet.
Okay. So congratulations. You will serve us well, I have no doubt. Trustee Barry.
I hope you were paying attention, Mark. She said she was just stopping by Henry Ford, and look where she's at now. And I heard your little plug. I heard you when you said.
I said the same thing.
Yeah, well, I said I heard you. I echo President McDonald's thoughts. I'm very proud of all the work you've done. I myself been following you for many, many years, so I think, we're lucky to have people like we have in this room today. So best wishes to you and congratulations.
Absolutely. Trustee Moses.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I'd like to also echo my colleagues' comments. I think the first time that we've talked extensively was during our ad hoc committee that this board had to look into the college health. And we talked about increasing the student population from international. And obviously, COVID put a lot of barriers to that. So hopefully we can come back and revisit that now that you're a full vice president. And I would hope that we would expand that population segment. Madam President, if we're done, I have also some commentary to share.
I have some as well, but please go forward.
Obviously, in this month, we're celebrating Juneteenth, and it is a celebration of freedom. I know the President Winless here has an event coming up that I will try to attend with my both kiddos and my wife. There's an event on Friday, which is called the Juneteenth Gala, and on Saturday there will be a parade that is going to happen in Dearborn, and the information for that event is online at hfcc.edu. For those who are interested in attending, it will be also hosted by our own Mr. Baron Brooks, so looking forward to seeing him again.
Anyone else? I just want to say one thing. I've got to thank my team for being available. We have had recently a lot of things lobbed at us, one after another, and we've had to go into emergency meetings, closed session, things that are unexpected. And I just want to thank you for your willingness to jump on and let's tackle these issues that are coming our way. And many of them are things that we have never faced before. So thank you for your support of me and for helping me. And again, for just being willing. And I want to also, to end the night on a good note, plan on a couple more closed sessions coming your way. So I just wanted to lay that out. And some of them are timely, so this is not probable. I just wanted to let you know. We may be looking at a closed session, and I've been trying to keep them off the weekends, but perhaps Friday or Saturday, the 24th, 25th of this month. If that is not conducive to your schedules, let me know, and we'll work something out. But I was thinking, we've been doing evenings, maybe we could do a quick Saturday morning and move on. So again, thank you, team, for being willingness to jump in and all the things that we've been dealing with lately.
You're
I
welcome,
appreciate
but try
your
to keep
support.
our August open, please.
I'm trying. I am really trying. I would like to skip town for most of August. So, anything else?
Okay, future
Yep.
meeting dates. Tuesday, June 14th, 2022, P12 Superintendent Evaluation Meeting closed, 7 p.m. at the Administrative Service Center in Room 12. Monday, June 20th, 2022, P12 Building and Site Committee Meeting, 6 p.m. at the Administrative Service Center in Room 12. Monday, June 20th, P12 Board of Education Meeting, 7 p.m. at the Administrative Service Center in the Frank Franchi Boardroom. Tuesday, June 28th, 2022, P12 City Relations Committee Meetings at 4 p.m. at the Dearborn Administrative Center in the Emergency Operations Center. Tuesday, June 28th, 2022, HFC Special Board of Trustees Meeting closed, 6 p.m. at the Administrative Services and Conference Center in the Rosenau Boardroom.
And now, we are adjourned.